Good morning. I would like to talk about happiness today.
Sounds good. Our first topic is about happiness and why we do not have happiness in our lives or in regular people's lives. Let's talk about happiness.
Yeah. So, can I ask you, are you happy?
I am, I am very happy. I'm very happy. Uh,
I like
and
to establish that from the very beginning because if we're two unhappy people talking about happiness, we don't have a lot of credibility.
right. Um, it's it's the happiness that I say might be a little different than what other people think of happiness, but I can truly say that I am a happy person.
So, what is it? Tell me what is it's different from other people. So, why don't you tell me what it is?
Um, See, many people try to see the fruit or try to see their circumstances and try to find the reason to be happy. Let's say, oh, right now I have how much money in my bank account, so I'm happy. Or because I have nice cars, I am happy. Or I live in a nice house, I am happy. Or I have a great wife or great kids, that's why I'm happy. People try to make a reason for why they are happy. But the happiness that I speak about is not about what I have outside externally. It's not about my circumstances, that everything is going perfectly. No matter what kind of circumstances I'm in, no matter if I'm going through a rough patch, no matter if I'm not doing so well with my wife right now, or I do not have nice cars or nice house, the happiness that I speak is from within, that comes from within. That no matter what kind of circumstances I'm in, no matter what kind of external things that is going against me, I can still be happy and I will be happy because of what I have inside. And that is the kind of happiness that I'm talking about.
Yeah. When I was young, I can remember going through a very unhappy time, and different people are different in terms of uh, their spiritual makeup.
Mhm.
But at a very young age, I just really had this need for some kind of spiritual something that just felt like it was missing. And before I went to Korea, it really came to a head. And I remember this experience that I had in San Francisco in Golden Gate Park, where I just I was so frustrated because I'd been searching for God or searching for meaning. I've been reading lots of different books, Eastern religion books and philosophy books, and lots of different kinds of things, and yet I was just having this sense of feeling out of place, almost like feeling out of place in the world, you know, like looking for this home, this place where everything like felt like, I'm here. It's okay. And it was so intense. I remember falling on the ground in the park and crying. And it was the first time I did this, but it was like crying out to God. But it was one of those kind of things, like I was saying, God, if there is a God, I don't know if there is one or not, but if there is, listen to what I'm saying. I need to find what this thing is that I'm hungering for, and I can't seem to find it. Help me find it. Help me find it. And it was really intense, and I it was experiencing a lot of really unhappiness at the time. And after I got to Korea, my mother had given me this Bible, and I was reading it, and I had rejected Christianity because it just seemed like a bunch of fairy tales and just didn't seem real at all. It was her thing, and I always used to tell myself, if I could believe
Mm,
what my mother believes, if I could actually believe that stuff, as absurd and far fetched as it is,
mm,
then I could be happy like her, because she was like a really happy person.
mm.
And she was always an inspiration because she was so happy. But I always thought it was like Pollyanna, because she believed in this pie in the sky. She was going to heaven someday, and it's like yeah, but you're not. You're here on Earth with all this
Mm.
stuff that we have to deal with, and all you think about is, oh, one day I'll go to heaven and then I'll be happy. But the thing was, she's happy. She was happy right now. Yeah, I could see that in her, but I couldn't be happy that way. And so then I went to Korea, and then I had this experience sitting in a room. I was praying, and it was like this complete transformation that happened, and it happened at a time when I guess it was like I had this experience of the reality of God.
Mm.
It wasn't just talking to this unknown God. It was the experience of talking to this living being, connecting with this living being, and finding that home. And it was unmistakable to me. It wasn't like something that a philosophy that I embraced, and eventually it's like, okay, yeah, this is a good philosophy, and I can talk myself out of being happy because uh, things are good. It just, it's like it took me by surprise
Mm.
and changed me. And then what I experienced after that was uh, just a sense of just being happy, waking up and with a smile on my face and being happy. And I went through lots of changes in between, but if I look at my life right now, that's pretty much where I'm at. Mostly happy all the time,
Mm.
even when there's not a reason to be happy. It just like feels good to be alive.
Mm. That's good. Um, See, on my side, since because uh, I was born Christian,
Yeah,
born to a Christian family,
yeah, yeah,
and I've been in church all my life, and I really didn't have a time outside of church. And I had encounter uh, the power of God, the life of God, the Spirit of God when I was in third grade. And when I was in fourth grade, third grade, I started speaking in tongues. Fourth grade, I actually had a strong encounter with the Holy Spirit. I still remember to this day, I was in a large youth conference. It was more of a like for fourth graders only. It's really funny because back then the church I was in, Yoido Full Gospel Church, was so big, so huge. They had conference per each grade. So
yeah,
they had a service for each grade, and I still remember every week there, just the fourth graders, they had a service together, and there was like 1,000 kids in that service
yeah,
every week. So I went to the youth conference and this and I was praying, and something was different. It was I had all my friends beside me, and and this when I was praying, this feeling of guilt or the feeling that I am a sinner, basically. But till that time, I was a pretty good kid. I
yeah,
didn't I didn't do anything abnormally wrong or something like that.
yeah,
I
yeah,
listened to my parents. I did everything right, but I still remember it was my life was going in front of my eyes. All the things that I did wrong went in front of my eyes, and at the end, I saw that Jesus Christ has died for my sin. So
Yeah.
basically, he paid it all.
Yeah.
That's what I saw in that moment in the fourth grade. And I started crying so loud. I couldn't believe myself because on my one part of my mind, hey, get it together. Your friends are looking at you weird. Come on, get it together. But
Yeah.
I couldn't get it together. I
Yeah.
was just
Yeah.
bawling my eyes out. And I said, Lord, I'm a sinner. I'm a sinner. And um, they were playing this music, and that music just sounds so sad. And I was just crying. I was like, why had Jesus have to die for me? I mean, it was like, and I felt, and I cried and cried and cried. And that day, I knew that I was saved. Even though I was in church, even
Yeah.
before that, that
Yeah.
was that moment that I had with
Yeah.
God. And I knew that He was alive, and something in my life changed.
Yeah.
But about this happiness, because I was in a church, I really never, I mean, there were times I felt really bad, but when I came back to Christ, it was okay. But um, there was this one time when I was in China as a missionary. I was just starting. I just, I was starting. It was my first year or something like that. And till that in my life, I tried to make myself into some kind of person who could order others what to do, basically. I
Yeah.
wanted to be at that place.
Yeah.
So I studied real hard. I got good grades. I went to good schools, and I tried to make myself into that position. And that was what my father always told me. It's like, son, if you want to be somebody, you need to study hard and you have to make yourself into that person. So I studied real hard, but I became a missionary. I became a pastor. And at this one day, I was at church, and this one person in the church, one congregation, one lady in the church, she started yelling at me. She's like, if you are a pastor, you should have stayed longer than us. You should have never leave church earlier than us. Somebody didn't do this, somebody didn't do that. It's all your fault. And she started yelling at me. And I was like, I was just listening to that for a while. And then I felt really bad. I was like, who is that lady just yelling at me for no reason? I'm like, and I felt really horrible. So I went into a sanctuary and I start praying. I
Mm.
said, Lord, this is not fair. I mean, I didn't do anything wrong. And, I don't think that person is any better than I am. Why is that person yelling at me? Lord, it is not good to be a pastor. Being a pastor stinks. It's just like, I don't want to do it. It's like, why did
Yeah.
you make me a pastor? Why did you make me a missionary? Why do I have to be here listening to that person like that? Lord, this is just horrible. You're making me very sad right now. I'm having a worst time of my life. I was complaining, complaining, complaining. As I gradually slowed down, I heard a voice inside of me, and the voice was very firm and clear. He said, son, if you do not want to be a pastor, you don't have to be. Son, if you do not want to walk on this road, you don't have to be. You can just walk away.
Yeah.
But if you just walk away, I will walk away from you.
Mm.
You will no longer be part of me. But if you want to be a part of me, you better follow me. But if you don't follow me, I have nothing else to say to you. You're going to be like nobody to me. As soon as I heard that voice, this chill went through my back.
Oh.
And this feeling of detachment and
Mm.
this feeling of uncertainty, this I cannot even explain
Oh.
in words. It
Yeah.
was like death has came to me basically.
Yeah.
My life just ended. And I start praying back. I said, Lord, yes, I was complaining, but how can you say that to me? Without you, my life is nothing.
Yeah.
Without you, I don't have any meaning in this life. Without you, I'm nobody. How can you say that to me? How can you be so scary? It's like, don't ever say that to me. I mean, I will never complain again. I'll walk on this road. I'll
Yeah.
follow you. But
Yeah.
Lord, never, never, never again say that you'll leave me if you because I felt how I will feel if he leaves.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it was most horrific feeling that
Yeah.
I ever had in my whole life.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because even thinking about that moment right now, it brings me chills.
Yeah.
It is so dreadful.
Yeah. Yeah.
It is unbelievable. So
Yeah. Yeah.
that's when I I truly felt that, oh, because I was with him,
Mm-hmm.
I did not know how others feel in this world.
Uh,
I had no idea about this kind of feeling.
mm.
But when you are apart from God, when you do not have the life in you, and that life is filling you up, when you do not have that, it is your life cannot be happy.
Yeah.
That's when I just felt it straight up. I said, "Wow, is this how everybody else feels in this world? Is this how everybody is living this world? How can anybody live in this state? It is feeling of uncertainty,
Yeah.
feeling of emptiness. Oh, this is just horrible." That's what I thought.
Yeah.
So, since my life was in Christ all the time. But when God told me that words, when I felt that, that was the first time that I kind of felt, oh, this is what this is how people feel when they live apart from God.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah, that was a unique experience for me.
Yeah. 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 The presence of God to me is so powerful. Um, and when I pray, uh, and come into the presence of God, it's unmistakable. And it's not like God's not present all the time. He is, but but I don't always experience it that way. But I mean, the way I experience it is so powerful that all I can do is cry,
Mm,
and I cry every time
mm,
when I just come into that deep presence. It's just I can't explain it. I can't understand it. I don't try to understand it. It's just that sense of how powerful and how loving and how complete God is. I in growing up in my family, I moved out when I was 17 years old because I could not get along with my dad. He was schizophrenic. He was an alcoholic. It was an abusive environment, and I didn't like him. I didn't want anything to do with him. Um, the experience that I have with God is like the perfect father. You know what fatherhood is all about, and
right.
it's no person can ever be a perfect father. I'm a father. I have two children, and I wish I could have been a better father during their years of growing up, because I didn't have a fatherhood manual of how to be a good father. I did the best that I could, but the kind of experience that I have with God is this perfection, that just knowing that God is always here and He is always watching over me, and no matter how my mind might interpret a situation, whatever is happening is the best for me
Mm,
because His will is more powerful than my mind.
mm,
And um, and I think the thing that was most powerful about my experience in coming to God in the first place when I was in Korea was this submission.
mm.
when you talk about this being a sinner and so forth, and it just the imperfection of this whole world and the imperfection of me, and just recognizing that what he was offering through Jesus Christ was, we use these words like salvation and so forth, and they become overly used. And when we say it, and then people think, "Oh, I know what that is." Well, no, I don't know what any of it is, but when I have the experience of it, it's so powerful that it's indescribable. But the submission was not just a one-time thing. It's a constant submission to the will of God. And I think that's what brings so much happiness. This is like Jesus talked about, consider the lilies of the valley, and of the field, and they don't worry about it. They just
Right.
they look good. Their life is what it is, and there's kind of a happiness and a freedom that we can have of not having to worry about, is everything the way it should be? Is my job right? Are my finances right? Is this right? Is that right? It's like you said that so many people, they have these criteria in their head that in order to be happy, all these things have to line up, but they never line up. They
Right.
just never line up.
Right.
But that happiness comes through this submission that just says, I give you all of that, all those worries and all those cares and all those expectations. Just, it's as you create it, as you are, is like total perfection. And
Mm.
that experience of that, I always think of it as, no matter what house you have, it's never good enough, right? My
Right.
my home, I remember the first home that I lived in. It was an abandoned house. When I moved out from my parents, I lived in this abandoned house that a friend of mine owned, but it was just like it was all boarded up and nobody lived in it. And he said, "If you want to live there, you can live there for free." I said,
Right.
"Okay." So I'm tearing all the boards off the windows and putting glass in and trying to, but it was not much of a home.
Right.
But then I kept, as time went on, I would buy a new home and it would be better, it would be better. But the home that God gives me is an experience that
Mm.
is just like everything is exactly as it should be. Everything is perfect. Everything is so perfect
Mm.
that I can't even complain about
Mm.
all this minuscule stuff that's going on around me that
Right.
I have a tendency to complain about, because this is really good. It's
Mm.
just perfect. And that's where the happiness bubbles up from.
Mm.
I start out in prayer and there's this crying at just the presence of God, but then there's this joy that follows that,
Mm.
that says, "Ah, today is a gift. It's the greatest gift I could ever achieve." And part of my morning exercise is getting my identity straight,
Mhm.
because there's you wake up from sleep, and sleep is a crazy thing because, you have these dreams and they're all fiction.
Right.
Where does your mind make up all that stuff?
Mm.
But I think waking life for most human beings is exactly the same thing. It's some
Mm.
fiction.
Mm.
And so, I come into the presence of God, and it's like I need to find my identity. I need to just, right in this moment, in your presence, I need to recognize that I'm not this guy that's walking around who in San Francisco years ago fell on the ground and said, "I don't have anything in myself. I need you. If you're real, show yourself to me." Well, he did, and he's here, and I need to get it every day that my life is in him. I died.
Mm.
I'm a new person, and I need to identify with that identity and make sure I'm not just walking around in some kind of sleep state, reacting to every negative thing that's going on and say, "Oh, this is the government's a mess, and this is a problem, and that's a problem," and all that. It's not really a problem at all.
Mm. Amen. Um, See, Roger, you're basically a life coach. you're a coach, you coach many different people, and many people comes to you with problems, basically
Yeah.
problems, saying this is my life's problem, and they bring that problem because they think that problem is making them unhappy. So
Yeah.
basically that's the fruits, or that's the things that they see in their life, and what they try to do is they try to pluck that.
Right.
But as a coach, you know that that's not really the problem. It is deeper.
Yeah.
We have to find the root cause of what is making those fruits to come out, what is
Right.
bearing those fruits. So, how do you think that these days people think that they're unhappy because of their financial situation, because of their family situation, because of loneliness, all these things. How could you speak from your own experience, or how could you tell them that those things are not really the problem? How can we say that? How can we tell somebody that um, even though you get rid of those, you will still be unhappy? How can we say that?
Yeah. Well, when I have a coaching relationship with somebody, the first thing I try to find out from them is what are their values?
Mm,
What's important to you?
mhm,
And if they don't bring up spiritual values, I prompt them by saying, "What about spiritual values?"
mm,
Because I want to know, uh, what drives them.
right.
How did they, by the time you get to be an adult, whatever your age is, you've had a lot of time on this earth walking around, experiencing things, and somewhere in your mind or within you, you have in some way reconciled to the point where you can say, this is how I see it all. This
Mm,
is how it works. This is my place in the universe. This is what I'm trying to do, and so forth. And some people have a very narrow view of things, and it all revolves around them. And some have more of a family orientation view. Some have a spiritual view in which it's a bigger one, and they are revolving around some sense of God or greater power, higher power, something like that. But I want to understand that first as I start to coach them, just to get a sense of where they are at this point. And it helps me to choose the right vocabulary or the
mm,
right language when I talk to them. For instance, some people tell me, "Oh, I'm a Christian, it's my Christian faith." Well, then from that point forward, that's going to be my orientation in talking to them, and I'm going to talk to them about well, this problem that you're looking at, how do you reconcile that with your belief about God's will? you know, and to try to bring them back to their own belief system, their own thinking, and say, well, what about this? Because so many times people say, this is what I believe, yet the way they're acting,
mm,
you couldn't prove it by me because they're acting as though it's this little tiny world, and the most important thing is for me to get what I want,
mm,
and I'm not getting what I want. I often use a saying that a pastor of I used to be part of a church in California, and my pastor had this saying that he used all the time. And he said, God puts you in a fix to fix you. If you fix the fix before you're fixed, God will put you in another fix to fix you.
mm,
And the whole point of that is that, if you say, I have this problem and I need to fix the problem. Okay. All right. So what is God trying to fix in you?
mm,
What is it that really needs to be fixed? My boss is a jerk, and I have to deal with this tyrant every day at work. So I think I need so the person say, I need to fix my boss. Well, maybe you need to be fixed. Maybe you're in this fix with your boss because there's something in you that needs to be fixed. And that's
Mhm.
why you're in the situation. And you keep looking externally at something else needs to change. People do this with marriage. My partner needs to change. They are the problem. But maybe you're in this fix with this partner that you have because there's something in you that really needs to change. And my orientation as a Christian is, it's out of God's goodness that he's put me in this situation because he loves me so much. He wants me to see this thing and to grow as a result of this so-called problem that I'm in. And through that growth, I can then be the kind of person who can serve him better. you know and through that growth I can do the things that he has intended me to do, but I haven't been able to do because I'm so stuck in my own thinking. So if the person's orientation is not Christian, I still tell them that same saying, because it's a principle that says stop looking externally and trying to fix the problem externally. Go inside and see why you feel it's such a problem. Why is it? Maybe your tendency to expect people to be different than they are
Mhm.
is a problem in itself. Um, uh, there, there, there is this ability to honor people, to honor the differences between you and other people. Um, uh, the a lot of people have a problem accepting other people as they are. And yes, the as they are could create problems for you. And so, as a coach, I teach conflict management techniques that start with accepting the other person. But then, if there's a problem, being able to set boundaries and being able to have a conversation in which you can negotiate a peaceful settlement or a way that we can work together or live together or be together that will work for us. But if it isn't based on honoring the other person and accepting them for who they are, then you have a fundamental problem to start out with that you're not going to be able to find a solution as long as you are expecting them to change. And so I think that it would be great if everyone had a closeness with God and could experience the power of God's will and that kind of understanding, but they don't.
Mm.
So I always see my role as a coach as just being able to take the person's orientation, whatever it is, and to help them to be true to their own values as best as possible.
Mm.
And so that's why I have to understand their value system. What I find is a lot of people, if they really look at their value system, they're not even being true to their own values,
Mm.
let alone, being connected to a higher power. Um, and so my intention is to get people to think more deeply about internal change
Mm.
rather than only focusing on the externals.
Um, I have this one story where I was in Cambodia.
Yeah,
Um, uh, it- when I was in this was when I was in college. I think I was junior or senior, something like that. My family has took a trip. This was before I was married, so we
mm,
took a trip to Cambodia. It's a mission trip. There was a missionary there. We visited him, and he came out to the airport, and he had a pickup truck.
yeah,
And the pickup truck could hold only four people, including the driver. So one person had to sit on the back of the pickup truck.
Oh, okay.
And since I was male, and like my sister, my mom and dad, so they sat inside of the car with the missionary, and I was sitting outside uh, on the back of the pickup truck. It was blazing hot, and the road was a dirt road. So there was dirt everywhere. It was making a big smoke, and I was miserable. And I was like, oh, this is too hot. There's dirt everywhere. My life is miserable. I don't know why I have to. I'm the only one who's on the back of the truck.
Yeah.
This is just horrible, and everybody else is in a air conditioned car. I'm outside. This is bad. I was not happy. I was not happy at all. And as I was passing through, I saw a bunch of people on a motorcycle. And there was this one motorcycle where husband, it looked like a husband, was driving the motorcycle. And then the wife was behind him,
Oh, yeah.
holding on to him. And her face was towards my position. I saw her face,
Yeah.
and her face was the happiest person in the world, basically. She was happiest person in the world. She was smiling. She was having a day for herself, and she looked so happy.
Yeah.
And as soon as I saw her face, it kind of hit me. I said, we're in the same position outside, blazing hot sun, being sweaty, dirt everywhere. I'm having the worst day of my life, but she is having the best day of her life.
Yeah.
What
Yeah.
is the difference?
Yeah.
What is making the difference? And I saw where I was focusing myself, I was focusing on the external
Yeah.
factors,
Yeah. 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 Yeah.
blazing hot
Yeah.
sun, high temperature, my sweats,
Right.
and all this dirt. I was focusing on that, and I said, I can never be happy in this
Yeah.
kind of situation.
Yeah. Yeah.
But the woman on the back of the motorcycle, she was happy. She looked happy.
Yeah.
And to my understanding, I think she was happy because she was holding on to her husband.
Right.
She was leaning on to her husband. And she was just having the best time of her life.
Yeah.
And when I saw that, I said, this is our life. We always look on external factors and say, uh, unless these are fixed, my life will never
Yeah.
be happy.
Yeah. Yeah.
A person in a same situation or even worse is doing so good, and they look so happy all the
Yeah.
time.
Yeah.
And when you see what the difference is, they have the life of God that they are just leaning onto. They're walking with him. And those ways, like you said, the purpose in God, yes, it's gonna the as longer that you have that walk with him, there's gonna be higher expectations, and those things do change. But I always try to remember the most basic, walking with him,
Yeah.
just being in him
Yeah.
and he
Yeah.
in me,
Yeah.
having this union together, walking in this world, no matter where I am, no matter what I do, um, the life that we share together in our spirit is far beyond anything than this world could give. So every time I try to remember, whenever that I do fall into moments of unhappiness, moments of despair, and just my financial situation isn't always great, my health isn't always great, My relationships never is always in a great shape, but I still try to remember where I am, and who I am,
Who you
and
are. Yeah.
uh,
Yeah.
who I'm with
Yeah. Yeah.
um,
Yeah.
all the time. And when I turn myself back into my spirit, where the life of the Lord is,
Yeah.
I can't really be unhappy. It's just it's out of equation. It's
Right.
out of question. It's um, how can you be unhappy with God,
Yeah.
that when you're with Him? And
Yeah.
even the I when I first came to the United States and like running the church and everything, being a senior pastor, um, I at first I think I put a lot of pressure on myself that
Mm.
I need to do well in order for this church to grow and to be better and everything. So I was putting a lot of pressure on myself, and I'm like, God has sent me here. I have to do my best here. Um, I have to give my everything. But as I was walking in that road, um, I realized that I was doing a lot of things uh, without asking him, without really having a conversation with
Yeah.
him, without
Yeah.
really asking him where to go. It's like, Lord, you gave this to me, so I guess this is the right way to go. And I wasn't really communicating with him
Yeah.
that well. Yes,
Yeah.
I was praying. Yes, I was doing things, but my mind was more on the doing part rather than listening and being
Mm.
with him part.
Yeah. Yeah.
When my mind was on the doing part more, um, a lot of times I was disappointed with myself, with a lot of situations. I, you know, it wasn't easy. It was very hard, and um, back then, my wife usually would tell me, "Hey, if you do all that just by yourself,
Yeah.
and let's say that our church has growth,
Hmm.
is that because of you? If the church isn't doing so well, um, is that because of you? Is anything because of you?" Uh, and I was like, and you're right, you know. It's like I can't really say that because I did this, my
Yeah.
church grew
Yeah.
because I did something right.
Yeah.
Yeah, being with the Lord is the right thing to do. It's other than that, it's the Lord who does the work. It's
Yeah.
not me.
Yeah.
So um, even walking in this path that God sets for me, even that walk, even though it may be hard on our physical body sometimes,
Yeah.
but spiritually, we do not feel stressed.
Right.
We really do not feel stressed because it's not I who does the work. It is
Right.
He who's doing the work. So it is just it is it, this life with the Lord, with God,
Yeah.
with His life, just can't not be unhappy. It's you are always happy. It's just it's kind of given. Default. You are happy because he is happy with you. Um, so
God's
that,
driving the motorcycle.
amen.
I'm sitting on the back holding on.
Yes, but even that expression, I see that all the time. And
Yeah.
what I always tell people is, don't even hold on, don't even hold on to him. Just
Yeah.
I use the cars most, and I said, let him do the drive.
Right. Right.
Go back in the trunk or something and just
Yeah,
sleep.
enjoy the
Just like
ride.
enjoy the
Yeah,
ride. Let him do the work. You
yeah,
just don't do anything. If we try to do something, it only messes things up.
yeah,
That's why I love to use that analogy, the story from the Bible when Jesus was sleeping on the bottom of the ship. All the Peter and everybody, they're fishermen. They know the ocean, and they got a big storm. Ship is about to sink.
yeah,
And they call on the Lord like, Jesus, Jesus, wake up. What are you doing? We are about to die. Aren't you going to come help us? And Jesus gets up and he comes up and he says, silence. And, everything goes
yeah,
down.
yeah,
And then we normally expect Jesus saying, hey, why didn't you wake me up earlier? Just like if you just ask, I would have just take care of this, no problem. Why didn't you wake me up earlier? He didn't say that.
yeah,
Like, why don't you have any faith? That's what he said. He's like,
yeah,
why don't you have any faith?
yeah,
He scolded them instead
yeah,
of like,
yeah,
oh,
yeah,
good job that you woke me up. No, it's like, hey, I'm here.
yeah,
It looks like I'm sleeping, but I'm still here.
right.
If I'm here, nothing's gonna happen.
Yeah,
Your life will go because you're with me.
yeah,
So have some faith. That's what he's saying. So that is what I'm trying to do every day. Even so, when my fleshly eyes open and see around me, and I'm like, I see this problem, that problem, all these problems.
right.
Lord, my life has too many problems.
Yeah,
But when I look onto Him, it's like, hey, just look at me.
yeah, yeah,
Don't look anywhere else.
yeah,
Just look at me.
yeah,
Let's go.
yeah,
So that I think just being united with him, having a more time with him, try to remain in that unity. That is the only hard thing that I can do. That is the only
right.
work that I can really put myself into.
Yeah,
But yeah, when you're in that position, you will be happy. You will be happy.
yeah.
Ah,
Well, we're talking about happiness in a
mhm,
world where people suffer from depression.
yeah.
And as you know, because we've talked about this so much, um, we both know lots of people who suffer from depression.
Mhm,
And it's a it's a devastating thing, to suffer from depression because you can't seem to do anything about it.
mm,
Everything seems to be wrong. Nothing seems to be right.
mhm,
And I have worked as a coach with many people who suffer from depression and have people in my family and friends who suffer from depression. And uh, it can be like a downward spiral. I had one woman that I was coaching that she shared with me that she suffered from depression for 30 years. And she said, I, I wake up in the morning and I look outside and maybe it's raining. And I think, oh, what a terrible day. And
mm,
then I feel worse.
yeah.
Then all of a sudden I think, other people, normal people who don't have depression, they get up and they see the rain, but they don't do what I do.
Mm,
There's something wrong with me.
mm.
And then she said, then I feel worse, right? And she says,
Oh.
every thought brings another thought,
Mm,
and every thought makes me feel worse.
mm,
It's almost like I have this, she said, it's like I have this inner voice that's looking at everything, telling me why things aren't right,
mm,
why things are bad for me. Maybe I feel some pain because of some chronic illness. And
mm,
I go, other people feel really good. Why do I have to have this pain all the time? And then the pain is minor. compared to how I feel when I think that way.
Mm.
Because thinking that way makes me feel really bad
Hmm.
because there's nothing I can do. I know people who they're trying to solve the problem with their depression, and so they start reading about DNA.
Hmm.
And then they say, well, I got this DNA from my parents that makes me feel this way.
Mm.
I have the depression gene, or I have, this or that. But how does that make them feel when they think that way? Oh,
Right.
then they feel like helpless victims, and it's my
Right.
parents' fault. Why did they bring me in the world? Why did they give me these genes? Why is it this way? Why is it? And every thought just seems to this spiral going downward, 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 downward into depression.
Mm.
And there's something missing here. The I was talking about earlier about feeling like I'm home,
Mm.
and that sense that in my relationship with God, I find home.
Mm.
What is home? It's not some house. It's not that boarded up house that I lived in when I moved out from my parents. It's not the nicer house that I was able to afford after some number of years of working. It's something that I carry with me. It's something that's inside that just gives me this sense that everything's okay.
Mm.
Everything's okay. But when someone is suffering from depression, they don't have that.
Right.
They don't have that. Everything's not okay.
Mm.
Often therapists will try to get them um, to have some kind of gratefulness. You know, what are you grateful for? What do you have? Make a list.
Mm.
You can put the things that you think are bad on one side, but then start filling up the other with things that you appreciate and so forth. You're out of balance is your problem. Well, that's helpful.
Mm.
It's helpful to start thinking about the things that you appreciate, but my experience is when people do that kind of a mechanical exercise, it's just not enough
Right.
because ultimately their mind comes back. After they might feel a little better during that exercise and say, "Oh, a lot of people have it worse than me. I really have so I have it good," and so forth. But they're not convinced. It's
Right.
not. It's not deep in their heart. It was just
Right.
a mental exercise, and the mind is the thing that that takes you down.
Hmm.
So any mental exercise that you do, your mind is doing. But your mind's nature, your mind's tendency is
Hmm.
to just take you down because you don't have what you could have.
Right.
It's not right. Other people have it better. You have it bad. This is bad. That's bad. The other thing is bad. And you just can't live that way. I
Hmm.
mean, what a way to live.
Right.
Um, I try to help people with depression, but the thing that I know inside is if you really want to change, you've got to die to that thing that is bringing you down. Whatever that is, as long as you identify it and identify with it and say, this is me. This is who I am. I am this unhappy person, and so forth. That's not really who you are.
Mm.
But you've got to find that person, and if you can come to God, if you can accept what Jesus Christ has given you, you will discover a new identity.
Amen.
And it's through that identity shift that everything starts to change for you.
Amen. It's 2 Corinthians 5:17. Therefore, if anyone is in Christ, the new creation has come. The
Yeah.
old has gone, the new is here.
Yeah.
Exactly. That that becomes a reality. That
Yeah.
becomes a reality. Um, it is this, I don't know, it's about every cultures or every different people, but in Korea there has been equation almost that everybody believes, no matter if you're a Christian or not, people believe in this, and what they believe is that It's a equation for happiness. First, you need to go to a good school. Like go to a best
Yeah.
university.
Seoul National
Second,
University. Yeah.
yes. Second is that you need to marry a good person. Basically, you have to find a great spouse.
Yeah.
Third is you need to get into a great company. When all of these three checks, it means happiness.
Yeah.
Korean people believe in this. Christians, non-Christians,
Yeah.
don't matter.
Yeah.
Korean people, when you ask them, they're like, yes, you need to go to a good school, good husband or wife, uh, great company, then you'll be happy.
Yeah.
I actually have a person who I know, and who is very close to me, who checks in all these three categories.
Oh,
He went to Seoul National University. He married a great wife. He has a son and daughter. They live in the one of the best neighborhoods in Korea. And he works for Samsung, which is one of the biggest company in Korea.
yeah. Yeah.
And
So he must be happy.
because that's what everybody would think,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
And when I start this story with everyone, I tell his basically background, bio, and everybody's jaw drops because it's their dream life.
Yeah.
It's their dream life.
Yeah.
There is such a perfect person in
Yeah.
this world, really? Because many Korean people think because I didn't check one of these categories, that's why my life is not happy. They
Yeah.
have a strong belief in that. Because I didn't go to Seoul National University, I'm not happy. Because I married somebody who's not perfect, that's why I'm not happy. Because I didn't go to a great company, I'm not happy. Even people who checks two out of three, one out of three, they're like, because of this two, because of this one. But this person, I don't know. He might think because I didn't have a perfect wife, maybe. But from the third person's point of view, he has everything. He
Yeah.
has, but I know him so well that I know his marriage is falling. I know he's not happy with his life. That and I had chance to talk to him. I had chance to talk to him. I said, hey, you can fool everybody in this world, but you can't fool me. And if you compare your life to my life, you have so much more money. You are to the people of the world, you have better job. You went to Seoul National University. You basically have everything. But I know that you are not happier than I am, and you're not happy, period. And you know what he told me? He said, hey, I have this group that I meet every month. We have this meeting once a month,
Mm.
and we go out and we try to have fun.
Yeah.
And people in that group are very wealthy. They're maybe top 1% of Korea.
Yeah.
They spend tens of thousands of dollars when they meet together to drink together, to have fun together. That's what they do.
Yeah.
And the story that he told me is like, but you know what? Nobody in that group is happy.
Mm.
That's what he told me.
Wow.
And I said, you know what? I'm not surprised. I said, I'm not surprised. I told him, I said, I don't know if you can say you went to better university than I am, but you have more money and you're in better place. Most people will think, but you know that I live a happy life.
Yeah.
Why do you think that? And I asked him, why do you think I live a happy life? And he's like, I'm not sure. He's a Christian too.
Oh.
He believes in God,
Yeah.
but he goes to church. Um, his family goes to church,
Yeah.
but I know that he do not have that personal relationship with God.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
He has a religion. So I said, hey, you need to meet God. You need to have God in your life.
Yeah.
You need to have that personal relationship with Him. That will bring the happiness in your life.
Yeah.
None of these things that you're doing right now,
Yeah.
try to make yourself happy, will not
Right.
work.
Right.
Will not work. I
Yeah.
can guarantee you. Because you know what? I don't have as much money as you do, but I'm still very happy. You know, I'm the happiest person that you know.
Yeah.
And he's like, yes, I know that you're doing very good for yourself. And I'm like, no, hey, you want to see my bank account? Do you think you can be happy with this bank account? And he was laughing. And I'm like, you know what? A lot of people with my bank account will not be happy with their life.
Yeah.
Period. They'll be like miserable. They'll be like, what am I, what's gonna happen to my life tomorrow? But hey, I'm having the best time of my life every day. And I'm very thankful with my life. And I'm very happy. Why is that? That was the question that I threw out the most when I was in Korea.
Yeah.
And to the younger generations, to everyone. And they'll come to me and they'll say, I had actually three or four young adults who came to me and say, Pastor, could you, when I get married, could you do the honors? Basically, could you lead the ceremony for
Right.
us?
Right.
And I'm like, but I'm so young. Why do you want me to do it? There's a lot of older and wiser pastors around, and they'll tell me, they're like, Pastor, you're the happiest person that I know.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
And I never seen anybody living a life with so much purpose and just who's so sure about his life.
Yeah.
And it's like, I want to be like you.
Yeah.
That's what they told me. And I'm like, thank you, but I'm not trying to. This is something that I cannot really act on.
Yeah.
It's like
Right.
I cannot fake this.
Yeah.
It's it's a life that's in me that is bringing these changes in my life, that is driving me to live this kind of life.
Yeah.
So and there's a happiness in that life,
Yeah.
in the life of when you know that you have a purpose.
Yeah.
Um, I think when I speak to you, a lot of times it makes a lot of sense because we kind of think alike, I think,
Yeah. Yes.
because I, my wife is totally on the opposite spectrum because she never really have a deeper uh, thoughts about this kind of things. Why am I here? What is my purpose?
Mm.
She said that never came to her. She's like,
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm here.
Right.
Hallelujah. I'm happy. That's
Yeah.
like
Yeah. Yeah.
that's how she
Yeah.
is. And she's like,
Yeah.
why do you have to make everything so complicated? I'm like,
Yeah.
I'm not
Yeah.
trying to make anything complicated. I try to make a sense of myself. That's all.
Yeah.
I
Right.
try to put meanings or try to have explanation of things that I already have.
Yeah.
So it will be easier for others to understand. But it's just like, oh, you make everything so complicated, and
Complicated.
and I'm like, I don't think so. But it's just like, why can't you just believe? Just like, hey, God's with me, hallelujah. I live a happy life. I'm like, good for you. Just live your life. And because I had that kind of emptiness or that kind of uh,
Yeah.
search
Yeah.
for meaning of your life. It
Yeah.
will bring you closer to God. And when you finally finds that answer, when the person have that emptiness filled with
Yeah.
this unlimited God,
Right.
because this
Right.
void in your heart
Yeah.
is
Yeah.
unlimited.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
It's something that you cannot fill it in with finite things.
Yeah.
Money, it's a finite. No matter if you're a billionaire, you'll still not be enough because you will want more money.
Right.
If
Right.
you are the president of a country, oh yes, I have done my thing. No, he will not be. I always use this because in Korea, every president goes to prison. So I mean, like even if you're a president, hey, I mean, what is the point? What is
Yeah,
the point?
right.
No matter what kind of thing in your life that you think is gonna bring you happiness, when you go to that place, you find that it is a finite thing
Yeah,
that cannot fill your infinite
right,
heart.
right, right.
Only infinite God can fill your infinite heart.
Yeah,
So I think that is one thing that I want to really share with everybody. It's like if you have an infinite heart,
yeah,
only infinite being could fill that infinite
yeah,
place.
yeah.
That is God.
Well, I'll tell you, when I came to God as a young person, I was feeling that emptiness,
Mm,
just really, really feeling the emptiness. And I think some people get so busy with life, they don't feel the emptiness because they've got their life filled with so much stuff.
mm,
And maybe they do go to Seoul University, and maybe they do get a job with Samsung, and maybe they do get married, and at first their wife is a really great wife, but of course she's going to change, and they're going to change. No matter how perfect she is when you get
right.
married, you're going to think differently over time, and but you keep filling your life up with more stuff. I'm 74 years old, and I feel like I've lived many different lifetimes because so many different things have happened to me over the years. But there was a point in my life where I was drinking a lot of alcohol, and then my son got into drugs, and I was really trying to help him to straighten out. But I had to look at myself and see, well, I'm addicted to alcohol. I drink every day. So I started going to AA meetings, Alcoholics Anonymous meetings, and I would listen to the stories. And by the way, I stopped. I stopped drinking, and I never started again. And that was many, many years ago. But I listened to all these stories every time you go to a meeting, and people would talk about how they had to hit rock bottom
Mm,
before they could turn their life around. And for some people, they would tell a story about how they lost their marriage, or they lost their family, or they got a DUI and crashed into some car and killed somebody,
mm,
I mean, just horrible stories. I would just listen to these and I would go, oh my gosh,
mm.
I'm glad that I didn't have to go through that to
Right.
figure out that I was drinking too much and needed to change my life. But I think for everybody, it's different. And they don't feel the emptiness, and they don't have God. They don't have anything that's really going to satisfy in the long term. They may have to go many, many years before something happens that takes them down to rock bottom, and they start to recognize, hey, I don't really have anything, and I need something more than just this stuff that I see with my eyes. Something deep in my heart, something that's unseen, and start to feel that need. For some people, it's when they get older. As long as you have your youth, for some people, it's just like, hey, it's party time. Every day's party time, and they're filling their life with entertainment and video games and this and that and the other thing, and they just keep themselves busy. But I've got a lot of friends who are my age and even older, um, who are suffering from depression,
Mm,
who uh, youth is gone. They've got aches and pains. Maybe they've got some disease, that they have to deal with every day, and life is not fun.
mm,
And they realize it's not going to get any better either because they're going to keep getting older,
mm,
and that depression can set in a really deep way. And my hope as I share with friends who are in this condition is, it's like I can't change your age. I can't take you back to when you were 20 again. But maybe because you're in this situation and you can't do anything about it, you can't do anything about your age, maybe this is the time that you can hear God. Maybe this is the time that you can begin to look inside and say, I need a different identity. I need to change. I need to find this thing. I need to accept God into my heart and go through a transformation. Oh, it's almost like a change of ownership, you
Mhm.
know?
Definitely, definitely. I mean, people, I have, you know, spoke to many different people for being a pastor, and one of the funniest thing is that people all come to me and say exact same thing.
Yeah.
What that is like, Pastor, why am I the only one in this world suffering with this kind of
Yeah,
problem?
yeah, yeah.
And I'll tell them, take a number. I mean, you're the 78th person who told me this exact same story.
Yeah, right.
Really, I'll tell them because to people, everybody else look happy. Everybody else is living a perfect life. Nothing is happening to them. Everything is going well for them, but they're the only ones who's having a problem.
Yeah, yeah,
And I tell them, no, no matter, just pick a person. Yeah, I know that they have a problem too.
yeah,
But only thing is, everybody has external problems. Everybody has their own cross to bear, basically.
yeah,
But that doesn't mean that you cannot be happy
yeah.
because of that.
I
Because
I I think that life is kind of like Instagram in that way. Like you look at
right.
somebody else's Instagram and you look at their life and you say, "Oh, they have the perfect life. They have all these friends and they do these fun things." And you see all this, and then you think about your own life and say, "Man, I'm not like that person. I'm not happy. I don't have it." And looking through that lens, trying to have all that stuff to make you happy is just going to keep you in this cycle. You might even find some of those things. You might work really hard to fill your life with a lot of that stuff, and it might make you happy for a while, but it's not the thing that is going to give you that true sense of deep satisfaction that's going to get you through the storms of life and the difficulties of life and give you the kind of sustained happiness, deep peace and joy that makes you feel satisfied throughout your whole life,
Right.
regardless of what comes.
Hmm. Amen.
So
Amen.
um, I appreciate you, and I appreciate uh, the fact that we can get together and share our hearts and our experiences. And my hope is that uh, if anybody watches this video, that maybe something that we're saying will help in some way.
Mhm.
And I appreciate that we have the opportunity to do this often now, and that this is like the first of a series of talks. They're just unplanned, but based on a theme each time. And I think happiness was a good one to start with.
Amen. It was a great talk, and I really wish that Holy Spirit will work through these videos that we have, that these conversations we have, because it's from our real lives. We are not saying that we have perfect life. We're not
Yeah,
saying that
yeah,
everything is fine. We have our own problems,
yeah,
but that doesn't mean that our life is miserable.
yeah,
Our lives are basically, a lot of people will hard to find a happier person than us, because it's just the happiness doesn't, as we share today,
yeah,
happiness comes from your spirit. It doesn't come from the external factors.
yeah,
So I
yeah,
really do hope that this series of videos will help everyone
yeah.
as well.
All right. Thank you. I'll see you next week.
See
Bye.
ya.